Hi, I'm Cameron, and I don't just read comics, I love them. Welcome back to another episode of Cameron Reads Comics. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about Hawkeye episode 4, so let's just get into it. Here's my random notes that I brought. I always bring up every week. It's been a big week for this series, kind of a big week for the MCU. I'm not talking about the release of Spider-Man Far From Home, that's still a couple weeks out, but I guess no, it's freaking, anyways, it's not that far out, but Let's talk about Hawkeye. Going into the first scene, I think the apartment scene was like okay. Like the cliffhanger of the last week's episode wasn't that great of a cliffhanger, and so for it to be like kind of innocent was like cool, but I wasn't so invested. It wasn't that great of a cliffhanger. But the highlight of that scene was the conversation between Hawkeye and Eleanor, and we kind of get to see the parallel and ownership, and I think it was made obvious before, but this scene gave me the words to say to describe that scene, which was that like you see Kate as a window for Clint to Black Widow, to Natasha. He's not that he sees Natasha in Kate, but he wants to take care of Kate in the same way he couldn't share, that time with Natasha. He can use her to make more memories in, I guess, this industry, or like, yeah, I loved the Clint Kate stuff. You guys know I love that stuff. So to see like that be a connection to draw them near, and especially using Eleanor of all people to kind of like explain, I guess, enhance that experience for the audience, I thought was really good. I also loved that Hawkeye got the Ronin sword back. Like, I know that's pretty obvious of something that was going to happen, or like a side mission almost. Not explicitly a side mission, but like you find out he gets in the elevator and he just reveals that he had the sword, and that was like really freaking cool. I love that they don't show us that. They sneak that to us. So I like that he got the Ronin sword back. Another great thing that happened in this episode that I didn't realize I needed was Hawkeye had a scene with Laura, his wife. So they had a phone call, and she was actually like useful. I think some of the biggest issues with her character has been giving her something to do. And so when she finally had this time where she could do something, I thought that it was really awesome that she was able to bring something to the table for her husband, and not just be like a fixated object of his desire, or just like a destination or an object. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to, drill politics into anyone, but I'm really just saying like, it's nice that she had something to do, and she was able to contribute to the story, because I actually really like that actress. So yeah, her being able to participate was cool. I also liked the Kate and Clint Christmas scene. I liked that because I'm not a huge Christmas guy, not like bah humbug, but I like superhero stories, and just like Christmas being a setting and not a theme of this movie or show, I really like. So them spending some time addressing that it is Christmas, but not like beating you over the head with it, was really cool. And Kate like sharing and them drinking together and get a little tipsy or whatever, and her bringing holidays and home to him while he's not able to have it was a good feel-good moment, and also like just enough Christmas for my blood. That's about as much Christmas as I have the stomach for, frankly. The next note I have, the LARPers are back. This is so funny to me because like I feel like this is Marvel addressing their fans, and they know that go to Comic-Con or any convention, and you can see there's cosplayers. And I just think that this is Marvel nodding back to cosplayers and kind of like validating them and like their support, and kind of giving back very briefly to their fans. And so I'm glad that they did that. I don't know. I like that of all series to have had them in, I wouldn't have guessed Hawkeye, but like where would I have ever like been creative enough to put something like that in there? No. And so also like kind of the door that they've opened for the LARPers and the participators in this thing to give Clint, potentially a new costume, which we know we're going to see. But like, I just love that. And I love that it's a little bit meta, but it's just cool. I like that Marvel kind of did that scene to pay attention to their fans. Another thing that I like about the series that I'm trying to define is like I like the comedy in this series. I like that their ability to, because I feel like it's pretty dark. It's a lot of mourning in Clint's department. It's kind of almost like Batman-esque. But when they can find levity, they do. And I think this one was like, I think a lot of people don't like the comedy within the series, but I really enjoy it because it's really dark themes, and just any window for a little bit of levity, I think, is a good thing. So I really like it. And I'll take the levity where we can find it, but I don't think this is one of those Marvel things that's like leaning way too far into comedy. I think it's a show that's not taking itself so seriously. And when you have a universe as broad and big as Marvel, to not take yourself so seriously or like, you know, have different tones within different series, I think that's a good thing. So this is the show with a character called Pizza Dog, you know? I know that's not his name, but like it really is. Okay, we finally got Florence Pugh. Elena Bellova from the Black Widow film, kind of retconned into the universe because that movie took place in the past, kind of informed us on what she's doing in the future. It says that she's in the series for like 3 episodes or so. You know, this is the first episode. I think we're going to get a lot more of her in the next 2. So I'm excited to see her. I wanted more because based on the post-credits scene of Black Widow, I think this is about the perfect amount we're going to get for her this episode. Just enough to add like an air of mystery, but I think we're going to see more of her. And I love Florence Pugh. So I'm just excited to see, like, he knows that the Black Widow organization exists. He kind of knew some context into that. So I was a fan. Also, speaking of, that was a great rooftop fight scene. I guess I'm just wondering, what is the Rolex watch? Like, what is that referring to? Who did it belong to? I would assume it's like, it was pink-ish. So I'd assume it was Black Widow, like maybe a gift they gave one another, or like that person's identity. There's an identity Avenger thing attached to it. I don't know. So, or maybe it's like a Clint one. Maybe it's like it was his, and it says, "Hey Ronan, you rule" on the back or something, aka Hawkeye. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. But yeah, so I think that it could be really cool. But yeah, the rooftop fight scene was very neat. I really liked we had the scene where Clint kind of saw Kate fall over the edge and she was caught. Unlike how he witnessed Black Widow go, and referring back to the conversation with Kate's mom, I just really liked it. So I liked how that happened. I liked that there's some levity, and I like how he told her to go away, because I think then she showed back up, and yeah, it was awesome. And also Echo was there. They broke into Echo's apartment. I'm like, what's happening here? And also, Echo, is it just me? And like, I know she's a villain, but like, she's pretty OP. I'm like, wow, you're like really gnarly. And I don't know much about Echo. I haven't read her series, so I'm still trying to figure it out. But I thought that was important. Also, okay, I'm winding down the episode, but after the news this week about Charlie Cox's Daredevil is now confirmed to be the MCU's Daredevil. We don't know when we'll see him, but referring back to last week's episode, I find it impossible to not believe that Vince D'Onofrio is the Kingpin. That confirms that was his voice. I think Charlie Cox, there's leaked images. I think Charlie Cox is going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home, and I think he will be in the Echo series moving forward. So, big news, big week for Marvel Comics. So, that being the case, I think that, that's about as much as I have for you guys this week. Make sure to, actually, I didn't rate it. My rating this week, I would give it a 3.5 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty middle-of-the-road episode. Thought it was good. Brought back some things I like. I think overall the series has been really great, and I guess I'm kind of bummed. I don't know if it's 8 episodes or it's 6 episodes, but if it's 6, then I'm sad, because I'm really excited to watch the next 2. Anyways, I'm Cameron. I don't just read comics. I love them. Make sure you go clobber those like and subscribe buttons, as well as check out my podcast, Cameron Reads Comics. I will see you guys next time. See you later.